Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host, Bryan. We're going to wrap up today checking out a band that we've seen a couple of times on Sounds from My Inbox, but now I'm ready to explore them with a full reaction. That band is Gradience, a two-man group trying to merge black metal with hip hop. Today we're going to be checking out the track Love Me and Lie, which debuts today. It's interesting to stay right on the forefront of musical exploration and seeing where people are trying to take things. Let's dive into this, see where Gradience is taking us today. It's a very different side of the band than we've seen in the past.
With empty spaces, thoughts still bouncing straight off the wall. And these ideas of solace prove that I lost it all. Shades of white blind my sight. Love me and lie to me. Love me and lie. That's where the sun and others medicine. And now I'm falling off again. I'm telling you I'm not a lover. I gotta find my way out. Sometimes I feel uncertain. It's not me now, I'm pulling the curtain. Yeah, I'm making me listen on my feet to take the place. It's not me, I gotta find my way out.
I like that layering. Everybody, including the instruments, were in on that rhythmic bomb, 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 bomb. But we also had the vocal layers there with the clean and the harsh. There's the black metal. I do like that very clear melodic idea on the top of everything. Yeah, okay. It's been interesting to listen to this group's evolution and see where they've taken this idea. I think, interestingly, across the three songs we've listened to so far, there's been an angling towards palatability. The first track was musically very metal, with the chorus itself being black metal, having the stereotypical 16th note attacks from the guitar, lots of fuzz, lots of distortion, constant alternating bass and snare on the drums. And the last track we checked out kind of eased up on a little bit of that and went towards more of a hip hop style of music, if I remember correctly. And this one sits in a alternative metalcore style of music with a poppier production and approach for the verse, a very palatable metal for the chorus, and then a touch of that more extreme side in the bridge. But a majority of this song is very palatable, with the clean vocals on top of it and everything. It's, like I said, it's been interesting to see at least not necessarily their overall scope of the project, but the singles that they've released has narrowed down to this more palatable sound. And I don't know if this is an exploration, if we're seeing things as they're being made, or if everything on an upcoming album. Do they have an album coming out? They haven't announced one, I don't think. They just have a series of singles at this point. So we might be seeing them as they're made, and they may be exploring whatever sound they're in. Maybe they still might want to create some harsher ideas, but it isn't their primary focus like when they started this several months ago. I don't know. I just think it's an interesting pattern to see here. But yeah, so let's get into a little bit of this. The verses, way softer than anything I was expecting on this. We have nice light guitar work, kind of creating this nice sound floor. We have light sparse drumming. And then we have the vocal hook on top of all of that. Well, it's not a hook, but it is a clean vocal melody that is still kind of catchy. It's very palatable, very listenable. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite song from them, which I feel kind of bad saying that because I also feel like it's the least them. They present a very unique convergence point of pop and rap and extreme metal, and this song kind of moves away from most of that and embraces more of an expected style of music. One that I do find more palatable. I'm not a huge fan of the extreme metal sounds, but I do find this to be the least Gradience track that we've listened to so far. But I do enjoy the melodies that are in the verse. We have a really nice flow to it all, and it builds into the chorus, which ramps up the intensity a little bit in the drumming. We have a little bit more drive, a little bit more intensity, and the guitars present us a chord progression with a rhythmic groove to go along with it. And then we get the vocal hook on top of that, which is catchy and hooky and palatable. It's very nice to listen to. I enjoy the chorus. I enjoy the contrast between the verse and the chorus. And I do like those rare occasions where we'll get the harsh vocals underneath the cleans here in the chorus. And I do need to bring up a little bit of the rhythmic flair that shows up in the second verse in the vocals. I do feel like these are more in the sung style than a rapped style. However, there is an inclusion of some more interesting rhythmic ideas that pop up in the second verse that seem to utilize some of the vocalist's ability to rap. And focuses a little bit more on rhythmic ideas that we didn't hear on the first verse. That was more of a flowing style of singing. I thought this was a nice little change up and created yet again another level of diversity and contrast in the track that helps it feel like it's constantly progressing towards something else, something new. It's always presenting something interesting to the listener that they haven't heard before. It's a really bad segue into the fact that the second chorus is pretty much identical to the first. All of this leads us to the bridge, though. This is straight up traditional black metal stuff. We have a very fast alternating snare and bass kick. We have 16th notes from the guitars. We have these gnarly black metal style harsh vocals. Um, and this reminds me of the chorus to Abyss, My Abyss, This Abyss. I don't remember what it was called. It was the first track we checked out from them. The entire chorus was what the bridge is now. And this is sort of that exploration of palatability that I was talking about. What used to take up a majority of the song is now just a 20-30 second diversion from the core part of the song. It has been shrunk down to a point where it being the least palatable element isn't present as much. Um, and of course, this leads to a very harsh stop that just takes us back to the final chorus of the track, which I don't think had any alterations to it. I think it was just another showcasing of the chorus that we had heard. And the transition into it featured a very harsh transition. As I said, the bridge just kind of stops and then the chorus comes back in. Very typical metal idea right there. I would have liked a nicer, smoother transition into it, but I think it works well for what it is. And so like I said, I feel kind of bad because I do think this is the song that works best for me, but it's also a song that I feel like any number of metalcore bands could have made. The bridge aside, which does feel distinctly Gradience. I can't say I've listened to too many metalcore bands that go into that black metal sound for a bridge, but the verse and chorus, I feel like I've heard them hundreds of times in just the past couple of years, with a lot of bands utilizing very similar sounds. But I don't want that to be read as a criticism for Gradients, who I know y'all are watching this. Um, for all I know, y'all are just trying to explore sounds. Like I said, we've heard three songs, three very different styles so far. It could be that you're just exploring and trying to suss out what you want to do and seeing if you can do stuff like this, um, and trying to build both an audience and a style. Y'all started out with a very intense combination of sounds, and I think it's important to also explore your own musical tastes, what kind of music you want to make and what kind of music you can make. So this might just all be an exploration style of creation at the moment, trying to figure out where you want to go, what kind of music you want to make. And so I don't want to discourage that. But there is a part of me that kind of misses the more experimental side. And but this is just one song, right? The next track you make might be like the most wildest thing that I've heard. So it's all the process, right? And it's difficult to have a strong understanding of the process outside of it. And as it's going on, it's easier to be retrospective about something, read about the process after like the first albums come out and say, oh, this was just learning experiences. Um, but I don't have that perspective yet. I'm still viewing this as things are coming out, so I'm not quite sure what the purpose was behind this track, what the intention was. But I am enjoying the diversity of y'all's library already. Like I said, three songs, three very different styles. That's pretty cool. And y'all do put your own spin on this with that bridge. I'm going to take a second to read some lyrics, and then we're going to push forward. So, lyrically, this song is about feeling lost, not having the means nor the knowledge to get some footing, to get some ground, and to rise up out of this feeling of lost. It says, I swear there's something about this medicine, and now I'm falling off again. I'm telling you, I'm out of leverage. I gotta find my way out. Sometimes I feel uncertain, it's not me, now I'm pulling the curtain, yet I'm running in place and all my fears dictating the pace. It's not me, I gotta find my way out. That's the chorus to this track, the extended chorus. I was actually wrong when I said that the second chorus pretty much reflected the first. That's not true. There's an extension to it, an entire second stanza to that section. But yeah, it's a feeling of insignificance almost. It says I'm running in place, my fears dictate the pace. I don't have any control over the situation. I want out. I've got to find my way out, which is the part that's uh, stated multiple times throughout this track in the chorus. It's also the one that I believe is layered, where we have the harsh vocals coming in underneath the clean vocals, and even the instruments follow along the same rhythm. It's this unified statement. I've got to find my way out. It's about feeling lost. Now, unfortunately, I don't quite understand where the title of the song comes into play. It is the final line of both verses. I don't know. The first verse says, there ain't nothing really different per se. I'm clutching onto duplicates. Oh, the irony. With blood so thick, I probably drown. Ain't no float in it. Braiding words from the hurt. Love me and lie to me. I don't know. Clutching onto duplicates is something that continues to stick out to me. I don't know what it means, but it's such an evocative phrase. The idea of never being able to hold on to an original whatever. You're always holding on to a duplicate, a clone, a reproduction of it, never the original. But also just before that says nothing's really different. So I don't know. It's a very cool series of words. I'm just not getting it, which I'm gonna toss on me. I don't think that's anything wrong with the lyrics. I've never really been good at dissecting poetry. I've been getting better over the years. But usually if something goes over my head, that's because I'm not getting it, not because uh, the poetry is not good or not well or not clearly stated. So I don't know. The second verse says, my face de facto, something shifty, I know, with empty spaces, thoughts still bouncing straight off the wall, and these ideas of solace prove that I lost it all. Shades of white, blind my sight, love me and lie to me. Yeah, I don't know. I wish I had a better take on this. Um, and given that, see, here's the thing too, is that I really wish I had a stronger grasp on this because the musical choice is interesting. Because it is a choice. Usually, when it comes to metalcore bands who produce a series of songs that all sound similar to this on an album, I usually have less to say about any musical and lyrical thematic cohesion. The music is simply there as a vehicle for the lyrics. The music doesn't really change from song to song, so it very rarely has anything to do with what's being sung about. But here, the choice of this type of music was selected. It deviates from what I tend to know that they create. Maybe there is a purpose for this style of music that goes with these lyrics in a way that bands who typically write this type of stuff don't have. But because I don't have a really strong grasp of the lyrics, I can't even begin to make any steps towards crafting any sort of cohesion between the decision to write this type of music with these lyrics. So, unfortunately, I don't have much more to say about that one. I guess that wraps this up. These are my thoughts on Gradience's Love Me and Lie. I continue to enjoy this group's output. It's always neat to see where they're going and how they're evolving as artists. But what are your thoughts about them? Give me your opinions, perspectives, and stuff down in the comment section. Let me know if you agree with anything that I said, disagree with anything that I said, maybe just have some stuff to correct me on. Maybe you have a perspective on the lyrics and they make sense to you in a way that I didn't quite click with. Above that, in the description box, is a link to Linktree. You'll find takes you to this menu. You can find links to my music, ways to support the channel, a link to the Discord server. I'm also going to drop some links for Gradience in the description as well. If you want to find any more of their music, that'll be the way to do it. Above that, if you could, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. I greatly appreciate all three of those. That wraps it up for today, but I'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. UTC as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.